It's Active Directory, what sits in the middle or combines all of these different applications so you can access them and use them. That's what really makes it unique more than anything else. You can recover all of those other platforms or applications. If you don't recover AD, doesn't matter. Nobody can use them. That's what makes Active Directory really unique.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mark Breisiger with Net Diligence. Continuing on with our educational series, talking each week with different experts who can help the cyber risk insurance community solve some problems. We specifically support a number of the cyber insurance companies who, of course, insure all kinds of business sectors against cyber risk, including ransomware. And we're always looking to talk to industry experts to see what trends they're seeing, what are some of the things they're seeing in the front lines. And one of the topics I wanted to talk a little bit about today was protecting Active Directory. And we'll talk soon about what that is and why that is important. I have the great fortune today of speaking with Michael Keenan, and Michael is a product manager at Quest. Michael, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks a lot.
So, Michael, I specifically wanted to talk with you because in our past conversations with you and your peers, I know you guys are specialists in a lot of different things, but especially in helping clients safeguard their Active Directory. So let's jump right in. Active Directory really is a cornerstone, I feel, of most businesses these days, but unfortunately, it's often impacted and targeted by ransomware and those threat actors. So can you start off just speaking to what is it? How is Active Directory maybe different from other enterprise applications and the need to restore?
Yeah, so let me make first mention of the dynamics in the marketplace right now. Quest has been developing backup and recovery solutions for Active Directory for roughly 22 years, since the invention or the creation of Active Directory. For those listening, if you don't know exactly what Active Directory is, it's the identification management system within the enterprise. It's the application that allows you to access all of your services, all of your resources. So if you're an employee, you need to get access to your computer, your endpoint, an application that you might use. Some of the basic applications would be your email and your unified communication solutions or a database, some file shares and things like that. So it really is, it's the keys to the kingdom that allow you to get into all the things that allow you to do your job. What's happening though recently, and let's say maybe the last 5 years, is malware incidences. That can come from viruses from outside your company. It can also come from kind of bad actors inside your company, disgruntled employees and things like that. Although we see a lot less of that than we see the malware side of things, where it's ransomware. And I think we've all heard about what ransomware is. We all know about the Colonial Pipeline attack that we watched last year, sadly, but we're seeing an increase both in frequency and ferocity in the marketplace. And so although we've been building solutions to back up and restore AD for, again, better part of 20 years, it's this part where it's really driving a lot of our activity and our thought processes. And how do we protect this critical application? Now, why is AD more unique than other applications? It is and it isn't. Each application is unique in and of itself, except for Active Directory is that kind of the keystone. In order to access all of those other applications that you've got to restore either from a business continuity exercise or a disaster recovery. Remember, disaster recovery doesn't have to just be malware. It could be earthquake, it could be a flood, it could be a fire and things like that. We're not seeing a lot of those happen in the marketplace. We're seeing a lot of malware and ransomware. It's Active Directory, what sits in the middle or combines all of these different applications so you can access them and use them. That's what really makes it unique more than anything else. You can recover all of those other platforms or applications. If you don't recover AD, doesn't matter. Nobody can use them. That's what makes Active Directory really unique.
Interesting. That's great, man. Well, let's stay on that topic. I want to talk a little bit more about, loss control for business owners. You just mentioned malware. It's about malware. And bad actors or threat actors is a massive problem these days. It is for the cyber insurance underwriter community we support. It is for the risk managers, CFOs who are concerned about their bottom line and they buy cyber insurance to kind of help there. We talk to a lot of experts, both pre-breach and post-breach, and the topic often surrounds Active Directory, which gets corrupted, destroyed, and you have these experts have to come in, usually manually, and rebuild Active Directory. I know there's other solutions that you'll talk about that can help clients take a different path. But scorched earth, the scenario is happening more and more. We agree to that. And it's time to prepare, plan, and practice is more important than ever. So if you could speak to that, Michael, that would be great.
Yeah, no doubt. I guess what's more important is let's make sure it doesn't happen, right? So all that pre-planning and having really good kind of security hygiene, security practices around your whole environment. That could be physical and that could be cyber from that perspective. On the cyber side, you really want to make sure that you can cut down or you can reduce the amount of vectors that bad actors can access. If they get in your network or a malware, you want to make sure that you lock down all of your control mechanisms. And so when I was talking about AD before, and that really is the keys to the kingdom, that's what most malware will really try and exploit, is try to look for the keys to the kingdom, which is Active Directory. And so the first thing you really want to do is you want to make sure that you're deploying the right applications and the right processes, and you're auditing those things all the time. So you make sure that you don't get into an incident where you're having to recover. The tools that I manage, and what we're talking about is having to back up and restore in case of what we call a scorched earth scenario. That happens in a number of different ways. It could be bad actor got into a big bank. They stole a bunch of money, a couple of pennies from each account. They don't want to be discovered. So on the way out, they burn everything down. And by burning everything down is burning controls to the access to all the different systems so you can look at them. They also burn down the data. So that's outside of Active Directory. So they want to do both. They want to, call that the scorched earth scenario. They burn everything on the way out. Then there are others, mostly state-sponsored, where they're just trying to disrupt your environment. They're trying to disrupt your economics of your business for a couple of reasons. One is so they could ask for ransom, and they would promise to recover all of that for you. When that happens, most of the times when a company pays for that, they don't really get a recovery because it's hard to really recover. The other one is really just disruption. Is a bad actor really wants to disrupt your business for that in and of itself. And so that's really what's happening. So again, there's pre-event that you're going to spend a lot of your time on looking at things and preparing and planning and practicing. Just like any sport, if you want to play tennis or you want to golf or you want to run, you've got to practice those things to be proficient at it. And that's the pre-event. Same thing for the post. On the post side, you have to stop a bad actor everywhere. They only have to get through one small little vector, one small little place. So it's likely eventually that most companies are going to get hit with some type of cyber incident that they're going to have to recover. How much of their environment will they have to recover? Don't know. Just depends. But it's really likely that you're going to get a flat tire and you're going to need a spare tire to be able to get back up on your way and continue your business, so to speak. And that's what we do. That's what I do for a living, is helping customers recover that identity management system called Active Directory.
Yeah, fantastic. And I agree with you. Like, incident response planning is so crucial to organizations, but we all know, even if you practice, I go out and try to hit bucket of balls, golf balls all the time and still get out there on the tee in the first hole and, it sliced the thing. Stuff will still go wrong. So losing one's corporate network, enterprise applications, it's affecting everyone in the organization. Some of those effects, I think we would agree, can be measurable as far as the loss. Others are not so much measurable, maybe like reputation loss. If you could speak a little bit to that stuff, Michael, we'll wrap up the conversation here.
You bet. This is where it hurts, right? This is where things really kind of hit the road. Normally, IT people like myself work with customers, and we try to develop some type of economics on uptime or downtime. with our applications that we sell them or we manage for them. And it's a bit of a soft number, but you can actually measure if if employees are down, how much is each employee worth per hour? Are they revenue generators? Are they transactors? Are they more on the back end where they're not as worth as much economically, meaning from a revenue generation perspective? This is true at a malware event, but malware really shuts your whole company down, right? And so from an impact, you can measure if I'm company A and I'm not transacting, let's say I'm a credit card company and I transact $100 million an hour and I'm down for 1 hour, that's $100 million. That's a simple kind of measurable number, right? But there's a lot more to it than just that. And this is what a number of us have been learning over the last 4 or 5 years during these events is those are measurables. The non-measurables are really the impacts that are having on your stakeholders. And that's a really large group of people. Your stakeholders are, you can say your board, if you're a public company, your owners, if you're a private company, it could be your customers who can't transact with you in whatever way that you transact with them, purchases, products, services, things like that. Your employees, they trust the company to ensure that they're protected, their data is protected, their activities are protected. Your partners that you're working with on any given project, your contractors and your subcontractors. And most importantly, if you're down and you're not protected and it doesn't look like you were practiced and you're capable of recovering in a reasonable amount of time, it's really around brand. Your brand can be hit. And I think this is the unmeasurable thing in the sense that it takes decades to build a really strong brand. It could take you a week to lose that brand based on not being prepared and the market knowing that maybe you weren't prepared. At least your stakeholders will know that. So, we all really need to be more vigilant and understanding what could happen in some type of scorched earth scenario and prepare for that and do the best we can.
Yeah, Michael, well said, man. That was great. So folks, if you want to learn a little bit more about this whole topic, protecting, safeguarding your Active Directory, you can reach out to Michael at quest.com. We'll make sure his contact information is in the blog. All I can say is it's worthwhile taking a look at, what's some interesting new ways to safeguard Active Directory. We talk to a lot of the remediation experts in the industry, and it very often seems to me, I see Active Directory and recreating that manually as one of the largest expense items in a remediation bill. So there's solutions out there to maybe lessen that risk. So again, you can reach out to Michael. We'll make sure you can get in touch with him. Michael, thank you so much for today. I learned a lot. Greatly appreciate your time.
You bet, Mark. Thank you.
Cheers.